Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. 16-year-old female here. I was tired of being used by my stepmom and my stepsister and getting nothing in return. I finally reached my breaking point and talked to my dad. He made sure that they would never disrespect me again. Let me tell you about my family first. My mom passed away from cancer when I was only 6 years old. It was a very difficult time for me and my father, obviously, but we took care of each other and bonded over our love for her. 5 years after my mom passed away, my father started seeing another woman. When things started getting serious, he came to me and explained to me what was going on and even asked for my permission. At that point, I was old enough to understand that my dad needs company, and seeing him happy was amazing. So I happily told him that I would love to see him be with someone he loves. After dating for a while, he got remarried when I was 13. Enter my stepmom and stepsister. I'm not going to say that they were the typical evil stepmom and stepsister combo from hell, but it was clear that they never really liked me. My sister is quite older than me, around 6 years. Initially, I really looked up to her because I thought she was really cool and I wanted to be like her. She's really popular on social media and has thousands of followers and stuff, and that was really fascinating to me at first. But after I tried my best to make her like me and she still treated me like I was some annoying little insect, I just backed off. She was nice enough if I left her alone, so that's what I did. Also, she went to college just a few months after the wedding, so it was not like we were spending a lot of time together. My stepmom was also fine. She was nice to me, but I always felt like she was faking it for my dad and never really liked me. The way things turned out, there was nothing more than civility between us. My dad tried his best to make us go along with trips, surprise girls' day outs, and whatnot, but it never really worked out. My stepmom was always lovely to my dad, though, so I was determined to get along with her and my stepsister for my dad's sake. Anyway, my stepsister got knocked up in college and had a baby. Her boyfriend at the time freaked out and couldn't handle it, so they broke up when the baby was just 3 months old. She couldn't handle college and being a single mom all alone and moved back in with us. My father has been really supportive of her all this time and told her that it was her home and she could stay as long as she wanted. I guess she got a little too used to his kindness. At first, I was completely obsessed with the baby. I'm on the school swim team and want to swim when I'm in college, so I got to practice every day. After school work and my swim practice, I try to spend time with the baby because she's absolutely adorable. I have done some babysitting for pocket money before, so I'm good with kids. For the first few months, it was fine. After school, sometimes I spent time with the baby while my stepsister napped or did something else. Things began to become problematic real quick, though. When the baby was 6 months old, my stepsister announced to me that she wants to get her life back. I had no idea what that meant. She said that now that the baby is a bit older, she wants to do things for herself, and that she would need my help for that. I asked her what she meant, and she said she'd need me to watch the baby more. I told her that I love spending time with the baby and would love to help out, but because of all my schoolwork and swim practice, it gets a little difficult to find enough energy at the end of the day. She started crying and told me that her pregnancy had basically ruined her life, and if I don't help her, she would be stuck at home forever. I felt really bad for her and didn't know how to say no, so I agreed. For the first few weeks, it was all right. I guess she was checking if I can actually handle the baby by myself. Before this little arrangement she had forced me into, I mostly spent time with the baby when my stepsister or stepmom were also in the room, but now they had started to leave me alone with her. After a week of this trial, I guess they decided that I was capable enough. She began to leave me with the baby more and more and started going out a lot. She joined the gym, and I think she even started dating. This was all great, and I was happy for her. But it went to a point where I had to take care of the baby 4 to 5 days a week after school. This was getting incredibly difficult and was making me fall behind on homework. I finally decided to talk to my stepmom and stepsister about it. They both ganged up on me and said that I need to be a supportive sister and aunt. My stepmom told me that I need to understand that my stepsister was way too young to have the baby when she did, and she can't let the baby take up all her time. I said I understand, and I would love to support her, but my schoolwork was becoming too difficult to manage. They refused to listen to my points and said that I have to take care of the baby at least 4 days a week because that's what family does. That was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I had to spend my whole week with the baby and spent my whole weekend catching up on all my work. For a few weeks, I was trying very hard to balance everything, but it was just getting too much. I was just about to talk to my stepmom again when one day my stepsister came to my room on one of my off days and told me that she was going on a weekend trip to Vegas with her girlfriends and she needs me to watch the baby full time during that time. This was too much for me. I told her that I have a swim meet next week and needed to practice during the weekend. My stepsister told me that she had already booked her tickets and I had to manage it somehow. I straight away went to my stepmom and told her that I can't babysit this weekend and that she has to step in. My stepmom told me that she's too busy and can't do it. She told me that Dad would be disappointed if he knew I'm being a bad sister and a bad aunt. I don't know what to do. I've been managing everything as well as I can because I don't want to cause a fight, and I understand that my stepsister needs to have a life. But at this point, I feel like I don't have a life. I feel like a teen mom or something, and it's making me a little depressed. I also don't want to be a bad aunt because I know the baby has done nothing wrong. AITA for feeling this way and not wanting to babysit full time for my sister? Wow, guys, thank you for being so supportive and telling me that I'm doing nothing wrong. Some people ask me if I'm being paid for all the babysitting I'm doing, and the answer is that I'm not. I was never offered any money, and to be fair, I didn't ask for any money either. Initially, I was spending time with the baby because she's adorable and I just love her. I could never dream of asking for money for that. When things got a bit too hectic, I told my friends about what's going on, and they told me I should get paid, but I never really put my thoughts into it. But now I'm confused. A lot of people have also told me that I need to tell my dad about what's going on. Dad works very long hours, and I never really told him what's going on. He is home on the weekends when my stepmom watches the baby, so he doesn't know exactly how much time I spend with the baby. I think I'm going to listen to you guys and have a conversation with my dad. I talked to my dad. That was one difficult conversation. Damn. So my stepsis went on her Vegas trip as planned, and because I absolutely refused to babysit this weekend, my stepmom was the one babysitting. I was scared to go up to my dad because I really don't want him to be unhappy because of me, and I don't want to cause fights, but I knew I had to do it. When my stepmom was busy with the baby, I went to talk to Dad. I started with how things have been different since the baby came along. He asked me what I meant, and I slowly started explaining everything. He listened very patiently and asked me questions about what I have said to my stepmom and stepsister regarding this and how they have responded. I was quite hesitant, but I was totally honest. I remembered everything my friends have told me and all the things you guys on Reddit have said to me, and I knew that I have to tell the truth. That was this evening. My dad told me that he'll think about everything I've said, and we're definitely going to have a conversation once my stepsister is back. She's coming back tomorrow, and I'm nervous about it. But my dad has told me he has my back, and I trust him. Guys, you won't believe what my dad did. So, my stepsis came back from Vegas this morning, and my dad came back from work early and gathered everyone for a family meeting. He started talking to my sis and asked her how things have been going with the baby. She put on her sweetest face and said that she's doing her best. My dad then asked my stepmom the same thing. She also said similar stuff. None of them mentioned that I've been helping out. Then my dad dropped the bomb and told them that he knows about everything that's been going on. He said that they've been emotionally manipulating me, even though I already have a packed schedule, and that he won't stand for this nonsense. They tried denying it and said that I offered to help out, but at that point, even I spoke up. Long story short, my dad gave my stepsister an ultimatum. He said that she needs to either be with the baby full time or hire a babysitter. If she doesn't do that, she has to move out of the house. He also said that she has to pay me for all the work I put in and apologize to me. Both my stepsister and stepmom got majorly offended and got mad at my dad. My sis stormed out of the room saying she doesn't want to be with people who clearly don't care about her. And I also heard dad and my stepmom fighting in their room. I feel guilty about what happened, but I know it's the right thing. Thanks for all the advice, Reddit. NTA, you're a teenager, OP. What your stepsister did by messing up and becoming pregnant is none of your concern. You should have talked to your dad as soon as this started. I'm really glad he took your side and took strong steps. It was long overdue. NTA, you're not a bad aunt, OP. It's clear that you love your niece and care for her. But you're not her mother, and it's really not your job to be her full-time caretaker. Your stepsis and stepmom sound really annoying and irresponsible, and I'm sorry you had to deal with them for so long. Great job standing up for yourself and reaching out to your dad. Good luck with school and swim practice, kid. I'm 26, female. My mom passed away when I was 18. She was a single mom, and my only other family was my Aunt Marissa. Marissa refused to take me in or even help me at all because you're grown. You can stand on your own feet. Marissa's boyfriend was nice and would help, but Marissa eventually banned him from even giving me dinner leftovers because I needed to grow up instead of expecting handouts. Luckily, my employer at the time helped me get some affordable housing. I struggled for a long time, but I luckily don't have to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. Marissa's family is currently struggling, and she reached out to me through a mutual acquaintance. Marissa's boyfriend recently lost his job for a reason that I'm not entirely sure about. Marissa stayed home and only did occasional work like baking for friends' parties, so they're seriously struggling right now. Marissa asked for just a bit of money or some unused food from my pantry to help keep them afloat. I called Marissa back and told her, "Hey, why are you asking for handouts? You're grown. You can stand on your own 2 feet." Marissa was angry, but I was just as pissed back, because she's the one who left me to fend for myself when I was a vulnerable 18-year-old who was barely out of high school and just lost my mom. And now she wants help? I texted some information for a local food bank and some other resources to Marissa's boyfriend, just for him and my cousins. But I didn't even respond back to Marissa after the first phone call. Most people agreed with how I reacted to Marissa, but multiple are telling me I was wrong and I'm punishing the wrong people. Because I know from experience that getting access to those resources can be a lot harder, take a long time, and Marissa's boyfriend and my cousin may need help immediately. These people also told me that by being the bigger person and helping Marissa in her time of need, I can show Marissa how wrong she was and what a huge mistake she made. I don't see it that way at all. I feel bad for Marissa's boyfriend and my cousins, but if I help them, it would be rewarding Marissa for refusing to help me during my own hard times. AITA? NTA, but the people who tell you to take the high ground are also not wrong. If we all just retaliate, nothing will ever change, and it doesn't seem like you would enable an abuser here, as an example, what not to do. But clearly it's your decision, and cutting people off that have been mean to you might be the best thing for your mental health. NTA, sometimes people need to go through the stuff they put others through. She will always be like this until she feels the heartache and stress of being poor. Trust me, I grew up on handouts. The fact is that no one, and I mean no one, will thank you for taking the high road and helping them. Next time someone says it to you, give them Marissa's number and say, "Since you're so passionate about helping others, here's your chance." See how quickly their sympathy dries up. My older sister's husband passed away years ago. They have 2 sons, 12 and 11. Edit. Should probably specify that her husband passed when the boys were 6 and 7. My sister is single by choice and has stated that she has zero plans on dating or marrying anyone. She says she only loves and trusts one man and that her love life isn't worth the risk of her kids getting hurt. Well, our mom has been consistently trying to get her married to Mike. He's a lot older, though, while his daughter is a lot younger. Also, he and my sister do not get along, especially since my sister is more relaxed in terms of parenting while he's more strict. He's also made comments on how if they were to get married, he would never see her sons as his own. He has called them competition before, but he fully expects her to raise his child. It's ridiculous. Another fun coincidence is that my oldest nephew and Mike share the same birthday. Now that her boys are older, she lets them hang out with their friends, and then when they come home, she organizes a little celebration. She loves birthdays, so she goes all out. My sister and I were decorating the house for the birthday when we got a text from Mom saying, "Come quick, urgent." We panicked and started calling, but she wasn't answering, so we quickly drove over and were greeted by tons of cars parked outside the house and lots of noise and music. Turns out our mom threw a party for Mike and tricked my sister into coming. Our mom didn't even say hi and just went, "I have some party clothes in my room." My sister was in so much disbelief and started to cry, but our mom was still trying to usher her into the house. She just ran back to the car. My mom looked at me and went, "Can you go talk to her? Mike's going to be so happy to see her." I don't think you all understand how shocked I was. My mom just would not accept that my sister does not want Mike in any way. I ended up calling my mom pathetic, stupid, and a terrible person. My mom started to cry and started to ask me what my problem was. She said that she's my mother and I need to have some respect. Besides, this isn't even about you. I just rolled my eyes and walked off, but my dad heard and started yelling at me, saying that I better apologize or else. My parents don't even get along, and our other siblings said that our mom's getting a lot of support, so now I'm wondering if I was the AH for what I said. AITA? NTA. WTF is wrong with your mom. Your sister and this guy don't get along. He makes a lot of shitty comments. Your sister doesn't want to date and risk her kids getting hurt. This guy would definitely end up hurting her kids emotionally. You guys were already working on a good party for the kiddo. Your mom tricked you into showing up. Then she tries to push this a-hole your sister doesn't even like on her. Then she gets mad that your sister is upset. Then she's mad that you stood up for your sister. Forget what the other family members think or say. Your mom is the AH for not respecting your sister's wishes. Your other relatives are AHs for not sticking up for her. Were your words harsh? Yes. I think you needed to be harsh to get the point across. You could have said a lot worse. NTA, I hate how some parents think their kids should respect them, but they don't have to respect their own kids. My mom's the same way, and that's one of the reasons why I'm beyond super glad that we don't talk anymore. Just like my mother as well. It sounds like your mother is a control freak when it comes to her kids, even though yours are adults. Also, she's a control freak. So she'll clearly know why your sister wants to stay single, and it looks like to me that your mother doesn't care about her grandchildren's happiness. She only cares about her own. Also, this Mike guy has voiced several times that he won't class the boys as his own. So why would your mother want her grandkids to have a jerk for a stepfather? And why would she want her daughter to marry a man when they both don't get along? Your mother is AH. There is something so insidious about women setting up other women for a horrible and more than likely abusive situation. I wonder if the parents owe Mike a debt or something, 'cause they have no problem selling the sister and her kids up the river just to make Mike happy, or at least comfortable. NTA.